morning walk with my daughter. She's turning 2 next month. And I recognized it really allows me to stack some of the things on my list together. One, I'm out in the morning. I'm in the sunlight, right? So especially this time of year, beautiful outside, especially in the mornings. I get to see the sunrise. So it's good for my health, good for my eyes to look at the sun, right? Get that vitamin D. It's good for my exercise, right? It's good to give me space as an entrepreneur to get outside of it all and think, right? It's good connection time with my daughter.
God, it's great.
I started to recognize, wow, it's a walk, Jim. But because it happens early in the morning when everybody else is asleep and it's with my daughter, it feels like it ticks a lot of boxes all at once.
It does.
So have you seen any area of your life similar to that where you almost see your disciplines or your habits stacking on each other?
Yeah.
When I do one, I recognize I can connect it to the other. And what does that look like? And how can we help the audience kind of start to compile some of their lists together so they can be more effective and more efficient to live out their mission, rethink sales, and make a bigger impact?
How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet.
First of all, to your walk, are you familiar with the circadian rhythm? You are? You're resetting you're telling your brain with your eyes, the sun in your eyes, that it's time to wake up. So when you set it early enough, you're going to sleep better because you reset your circadian rhythm properly in the morning. And as the day goes on, you just get more and more ready for sleep.
Yeah.
It's called the circadian rhythm. So number one, you're outside, you're getting the sun on your eyes, you're getting the sun on your skin, all good. You're in nature. Maybe not, you're not in Yellowstone.
Right, yeah.
But you're in nature. So that's a great thing. So being outside in nature, and I think sometimes we take these kind of things for granted, but you are hearing the birds.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are hearing people talk. You're stimulating your brain with the talking. Maybe you'll sometimes run into somebody and, hey, how you doing this morning?
Yeah, good morning. People walk their dogs.
This is very important to us human beings. So you're hearing the birds, you're seeing a few animals run by, maybe a deer or two, whatever. You hear people talking, you maybe talk to them. This is all good. You're resetting your circadian rhythm. You're getting your heart rate up a little bit. But how important is it to spend time with your daughter?
Really
You're
important.
spending time with your daughter. So now we have the love component, the connection. It's vital. It's vital. So yeah, you are doing multiple things at the same time.
Yeah.
That's a great concept.
Yeah.
With me, for example, I talked the other day about it's right over there, the jukester. So it's a punching thing. That's what it is. It's like a punching bag, but it's not a punching bag.
Yep.
So when you hit it, it moves. And so when you hit it again, you have to be ready to move your arms someplace else, your hands someplace else. So it's very good for my brain. I'm also elevating my heart rate. I'm also moving. The movement is really good for me. We sit too much sedentary with our society today.
Yeah.
I highlight and take notes when I read.
So you're an active reader.
So I'm reading.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'm learning something that I didn't know, which creates the novelty. So one of the best brain exercises on the planet is reading. And if we could be reading something that we're not familiar with, that's even better. And if we were able to do it outside, that would even be better yet. To be able to sit on a bench and read, because now we're out in nature and we're getting the sun on us. But when I was doing my brain research, one of the things they talked about was exercise, physical movement.
Yes.
So they talked about aerobic exercise from the perspective of what is good for my heart is good for my brain.
Yep.
This is not medical advice, Derek. I'm just telling you what I'm reading and what I'm doing. So in essence, when I'm out there exercising aerobically, I'm doing multiple things, am I not?
Yes.
I'm doing something that's good for my heart. I'm doing something that's good for my brain. I'm physically moving. It's good for everything in my body.
It's sunny, you're joyful.
I'm in the sun. I'm out in nature. Maybe I've got one of the dogs with me. That's a lot of fun. So I'm doing multiple things at the same time. The second thing they talked about in the brain book, in this idea of movement, is lifting, resistance exercise. That could be lifting weights. That could be push-ups, body weight workouts. It could be bands, resistance. But they said that the aerobic exercises is number one and the lifting is number one. They want me doing both. So 1 is good, 2 is great. What makes it really great? Doing it outside. Getting outside and doing it. It's like a triple deal. So yeah, that would be an example of that. That would be an example.
Yeah.
You talk about. I talked in a recent video about how I called customers. Well, guess what? I was socializing. Good for the brain.
Yep.
I had to be engaged because this was a real live person on the other line. I had
you
to,
can't just be
so I'm
brain
using
dead.
my brain. Yeah, I'm using my brain. And they talk about people that are very engaged in their profession do much better with aging as time goes on. Having an engaging profession that you're passionate about, that requires you to use your brain, is a really good strategy for the anti-Alzheimer's, anti-dementia, from what I've read. And again, not medical advice. But the other thing about that I've learned is being a lifelong learner. I am a lifelong learner. And the more educated a person is, as far as the cohort of educated people, the better they do in life in terms of aging successfully. They just do better. And these are statistical facts. You can look it up. You can Google it, research it. They just do better. The incidence of Alzheimer's and dementia and heart problems, they just do better. Because let's face it, the brain's running the whole show. Okay, the brain's running everything. So if I can be always learning, which I am, and again, it's really a multiple benefit. So I'm learning something, I'm taking my notes, I'm writing, my brain's growing, my brain's getting bigger, it's getting smarter. And believe it or not, if my brain improves, you probably don't notice, so I'm not going to test you. But if my brain improves, do you know that your walking improves? They know this now. Huh. As your brain improves, like they actually put these people through, and they were stroke recovery victims and whatnot.
That makes sense.
And they put them through this brain training, and their walking improved.
Wow.
They weren't even working on their walking,
Yeah.
but their walking improved.
Because your brain controls your walking.
The brain's controlling the walking, and the brain's so much better. I'm learning these different things. Being a lifelong learner, I'm learning this, and it could turn out that my stroke really is indeed a blessing. I survived it. I didn't die. I could have. I should have. All that. But now I'm a different person.
Yeah.
And I have a different approach to life.
Yeah.
And things that I wasn't going to do that before. The juke. Wasn't going to jukester, excuse me. But now I am. And I've already got people working on it.
Yeah.
So I think I answered your question.
Absolutely. And I often see you doing these novel things where you were talking about the rucking several months ago and about that, and you're going to do that possibly with family, with Jimmy, maybe.
So good for you.
With somebody else while you're outside, if possible.
Yeah.
And you got stuff on your back. And so you're carrying that weight.
I haven't done it in the past few days because I told you I signed up for Inside Tracker, and I had to do a blood test.
Yep.
It's an extensive blood test. And one of the things you're not supposed to do when you're doing a blood test is to exercise aggressively for 2 days before.
Yeah.
So I had to just do my walking and whatnot and just go easy. Today I had the blood test done, but it's also acupuncture day. So when I'm doing acupuncture, no extreme physical stuff. But tomorrow, guess where I'm going to be? Outside with my rucksack on, carrying 20 pounds and, giving my brain a workout.
It's similar to the jukester. You were nervous to step into it.
Yeah,
it was something new.
I was.
You're a runner. You're not the most
Something
built
that's-
guy ever.
It's a novel thing. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm strong,
Yes.
relatively speaking, for my dimensions and whatnot. But I'm not a power lifter by any stretch. I could bang out right now 20 bodyweight push-ups, and on 19 and 20, I'm going to be shaking. But I can. I've gotten to the point. Now, when I first started doing push-ups post-stroke, 4 and
It
done.
had to be so
I
hard.
could barely get to 4. I might have got to 5, whatever it was, but it was like struggle. So now I'm and I'm not doing 20. I'm doing 15, and sometimes I'll stretch it to 17. But I got to be careful with that because I'm this guy that's always one more, higher, bigger, better, faster.
Yep.
My physical therapist has cautioned me that don't be Jim Shorkey. Just do your 15 and have a nice day.
Yep.
So I've been really working at trying to
level.
Exactly, yeah. But the rucking is very hard. I carry 20. I was carrying 30, and I backed off to 20.
Yeah.
And it's a brutal workout. It is actually a weightlifting workout.
Yeah.
It really is. I didn't really think about that, but I talked to Mark about it and my son. I said, absolutely. Because you're carrying, and I'm walking down hills and then back up the hill, and I got 20 pounds on my back, and you feel it in your legs. You really do.
But just like you said, you're seeing those things compound on each other as you're
Oh, yeah.
outside, as you're rucking, as your brain's working to, okay, Jim, just one more hill, keep going.
What do you think my brain's doing out there rucking?
It's working.
What do you think is, but it's also trying to talk me out of it. The brain wants to talk me out. Remember, so we talked about willpower.
Yep.
And I didn't really explain it properly the last time, so I will this time. The synonyms for willpower are self-mastery, self-discipline, self-control. And so when I'm out there rucking, it's challenging. And the brain wants to say, hey, Jim, you've done enough. And I say, not today, man. Come on, Jim, toughen up. Let's go. Come on. One more step, one more lap, one more this, one more. And I just keep pushing it. So I'll set a goal to, let's say, 2 miles of rucking, which is going to take me roughly, because I'm carrying 20 pounds, so it slows me down a little bit, especially in hills. That's going to be about 32 minutes. So I'll do my 2 miles. The watch dings me. I'm at 2 miles. And then I want to try to do more. So I'll try to stay out there. I try not to look at my watch. I just try to keep going. And then I'll look at my watch and I'm at 36 minutes, like, okay, let's do 4 more minutes. So I keep pushing myself. But not to the point of exhaustion, not to the point of falling over, just pushing myself. But that's the workout for the brain. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
That's so interesting, that
That's
connection.
a multitasking kind of a thing where I'm outside in nature, 2 things, outside and in nature. And number 1. Number 2, I'm walking, so I'm doing the aerobic. I measure my heart rate. I know exactly what it is. And I'm moving. I'm doing aerobic exercise, and I'm also lifting. So it's a multifaceted benefit.
Yeah, and even with the reading you were talking about, I've done a lot of studies into reading too. They say you shouldn't just read, you should read and highlight what you're doing. You shouldn't just read and highlight, you should read and highlight and notate in the columns what you're doing. Hopefully you would actually spend time summarizing those notes. I don't know if I've gotten there yet, but that's
What do you see there?
books.
What's underneath the books?
I don't know.
There's a notepad. There's a notebook. And so the one book is called The Comfort Crisis. Excellent book, highly recommended. And the other one is The Brain That Changes, or The Brain That Changes Itself, or something like that. It's talking about neuroplasticity and the malleability of the brain. So anyway, but what I'm doing is I have all my highlights in there, my check marks and all that. I'm developing that into my list.
Man, I got to get there.
Yeah, so it's down there. You can go look at it. I can't make this stuff up. I finished the Comfort Crisis. And in the Comfort Crisis, they talk about rucking. They talk about doing tough stuff. Another one I do is cold plunging. I'm at 40 degrees.
Talk about tough,
Oh, it's tough, but it's very good for me it's a very good thing. I do it for about 7-8 minutes. I was doing it too long, and my son talked me off the ledge on that. I was trying to do 20 minutes. Like 2 days later, I'm still shaking. So I'm doing 7-8 minutes now, which seems to be the number. And I won't do that today because of the acupuncture, but tomorrow I'll get out there and ruck, and then I'll do a cold plunge. I don't take a cold shower. I take a hot shower. Oh, yeah, I'm already cold. But I did take a cold shower today, and it's lovely. I've learned to make it lovely. It is just a lovely, exuberating, so much energy. Are affirmations enough? No, they're not. It's just one piece of it. The cold shower is part of it. The affirmations are part of it. The walking is part of it. Doing this is part of it. This, by the way, this whole thing that we're doing today is very good for my stroke recovery. Very good.
Because
I didn't know that.
You're on the fly.
Oh, man. I have no idea what you're going to ask me when you ask me. I have no clue. So I'm speaking right now. There's no rehearsal. There's no itinerary. There's no notes. There's no script. It's me speaking from my heart.
I think those things would actually hinder you if you had them, if you were prepped.
I don't care. I don't want them. I want to speak. And that's one thing, by the way. It turns out that for me, recovering from a stroke, results from thinking and Rethink You is ingenious. I didn't even know it. I didn't even have a stroke when we started this whole idea.
No, not at all.
It's like they say, don't retire, Jim. Don't retire. You don't want to retire. Do not retire. It's really not a good idea.
No.
Find something else to do. And it could be volunteering to coach, volunteering at your church, what we're doing. It's very engaging for me. I'm passionate about it.
And then people leave comments. You get to respond.
I love the stories. I love the stories. I do. I love the stories. I love your stories. I was talking to a good friend of mine the other day, and they've had incredible success. And I said, what happened? He says, the day I met you. I cried. I said, wow, that's a heavy load. The day I met you, you really set me on the right path. And that's what I want. That brings me great joy. And then the downstream effect from that, like how many people are you, you're touching one person, it seems like, right? One person had great success, but who are they touching? And what happens with their children and what happens with their significant others and their friends? I'm telling you, you don't know. It's called the butterfly effect. You don't know what happens down the road. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Jim, thank you just for sharing about different times that you, like me, have had those moments where you start to recognize, wow, I'm not just working out my brain. I'm also working out physically.
My heart.
I'm also working on my heart. I'm loving my family. And you start to
great.
realize,
It's great.
man, this is not as hard as I thought.
Yeah.
Not that you can always
Yeah.
get everything. It's not like I can get all 10 things on my list done in one walk. I'm not saying that, but I think it is recognizing, wow, we make this a lot harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
We can-
Let me, some final comments. So what I've learned, one is novelty. Okay. One is novelty. Two, use it or lose it.
Yeah.
What if that's true? Use it or lose it.
Yeah.
So I have to work out my quads. I have to work out my hamstrings, my glutes, my everything. Use it or lose it. Next is what's good for my heart is good for my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as I work on these ideas, believe it or not, according to my research, do you know that my brain actually gains weight? That I grow new vasculature. It's called angiogenesis. I grow new neurons. It's called neurogenesis. And with that, synapses. And my brain rewires. It's called myelin, I believe. But the brain gets bigger. It gains weight. And as my heart improves, guess what happens when my heart improves? I can deliver more oxygen to my brain because I've got a better system in there. I can deliver more nutrients to my brain because I've got a better system. I've created a better system. And lastly, and maybe most importantly, I can get rid of more waste products. Now, it's very interesting. And again, this is not medical advice. But I guess I would say to you, gang, what if that's true? What if I could get more oxygen? Would you be interested? Yeah. What if I could get more nutrients inside my brain? Would you be interested? Yeah. What if I could get rid of more garbage that's in my brain? Would you be interested? Yeah. Well, this is what I'm learning. And the process of learning that, I'm improving my brain.
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
But it's actually affecting this.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, no question. They're called confounders. So it's really hard to say which one did what. Because they all affect each other.
Yeah.
So if I have a better brain, what if I could walk better?
Yeah.
And as I walk better, I get a better heart.
Yeah.
And then as I get a better heart, I get a better brain. It's all connected. The human body is just an incredible edifice. Right now, who's making your heart beat? The answer is I don't know. But it's beating, isn't it? What's making it beat? Your kidneys are working right now. Your liver is what's making that happen. You're not thinking, oh, hey, kidneys, need you to go to work now. They just do their job every day.
Yeah.
I would sit down to make my phone calls. And I would say to myself, I'm going to make 10 phone calls, 10, check them off before I go to the bathroom, for example.
Yeah. I remember you telling me this. One.
10 phone calls. I got to go. I got to pee. I make my 10 phone calls. You know what? I'm going to make 2 more. And I'm running to the bathroom. Yeah. But it'll also be the same with taking breaks. Like it's lunchtime's 12 o'clock. I'm making my phone calls. It's 12:01. Yeah, I can go another 10 minutes. So I do another 10 minutes, then another 5, and then maybe 10 more. And it's, I got all my phone calls done for the day.
Yeah.
I'm going to go eat my lunch. Guess what that lunch is going to taste like when I do eat it?
Amazing.
It's going to be the best lunch ever because I accomplished something.
Yeah.
Maybe I sold a car in the meantime or got an appointment or whatever the case may be. Because it was always, okay, what can I do to sell your car today? So if you can make that deal $100 better, you got yourself a deal. Let me check with my guys. Hey, can we make that deal $100 better? Yeah, you got a deal. When do you want to pick it up? I'm on my way. I just sold a car. Guess what? Eat up, dude. Yeah. Eat up. I'm glad I made that extra phone call when I was going to take a pee break.
Yeah.
Or go eat my lunch.
Absolutely.
So I always, even going out for, I told you I was going to, didn't I tell you? Here's the case in point. Told you I was going to walk a lap and come back up. Guess what I did?
You walked more than one.
I walked more than one.
I was like, hold on, Jim's still not here yet.
I kept going and a little further. And right now, I know for a fact, right now, I have 6,543 steps so far today. And I have 17 hills. I track my hills and my steps. And my goal today is 12,000 steps. I'm a little over halfway there. Before I leave to go to acupuncture, I'm going to do some more walking. I want to get that up to 7,000 plus, maybe 75. And then I'll just take off for acupuncture. And I'll go do that. And then after I'm done with that, I'm going to hit the trail. It's out in Murraysville. The trail goes right through there. And I'll probably, I may knock it off totally, but if not, I can also walk it home when I get home. But
That's exactly what we're teaching.
It is
right.
real
This
life.
isn't a hoax. There's no smoke screen. This is what we live.
100% stroke recovery. I want to hold, I'm going to cry. I want to hold my great-grandchildren and I want to hug them. And then thinking it through the whole way through, I want to mentor my great-grandchildren. What does that mean? That means I got to get to 100. My goal is 122, but I got to get to 100. Because when I'm 100, that's 33 years from now, my great-grandchildren will be in the 20-year range. Is that thinking it through the whole way through? You betcha.
Yeah.
And so in order to do that, I got to do my work. It's not going to just happen. I got to do my work.
So good. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys. Again, subscribe, comment, so this message can get out to more people who can hear this, learn to implement different things that we're teaching. They may not get this episode, but they may listen to another one we've done and say, wow, I can take that. Let me note it down. Let me read it. Let me listen to it. Let me get it in my notes. Let me get a plan to execute it.
I just want to help. I just want to help. I genuinely, from right here, I just want to help.
Yeah.
I just want to help.
Yeah.
Okay. And how about my shirt? Stay positive. I like that. Stay positive.
Yeah.
Life's good. Life's really good. Stay positive.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, guys. Again, like, comment, subscribe. We'd love to hear your feedback, and we'll see you in the next episode.